it's you. Come and join us.
It's good to see you. We have the classic of classic aftershaves today from Barrister and Mann.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
And this is a freshly bathed Elaine Stritch from Goldilocks on Broadway. And together we are the Barbershop Duet. Hey, it's good to see you. And you're here on a great day today.
Thanks for joining.
Just wait and see. And for our mention today, everybody has a story of how did you start wet shaving, and nobody's story exists in a vacuum. Everybody had a friend or a buddy that helped him into the hobby. So we like to keep a small batch of supplies around just for when somebody special comes over, happens to take a look at our shaving den and say, what are you guys up to? And we can put some cool stuff in their hand to go home and try it. And this bowl from Barrister and Mann is at the top of that list because the price is great and the quality is amazing and it will help a newbie build a great lather.
Yeah, feel free to put in the comments how you started. Did somebody shove something in your hands? Right. What came up? I'm curious. I don't know.
And Sarah really liked it because it has a place to keep the brush. That's why she got it the first time. Because
when I'm taking a bath, I like to set it on the side. And then if I'm not holding the brush, it's nice to have a place to put it. So I've really enjoyed having that aspect, at least for my shaves.
Right. And it's the perfect amount of ridges on the bottom to hold your soap and then let the brush do a little dance above it. So it comes in a few fun colors and you might have them throw in a soap or two while you make your order. So yeah, head over to Barrister and Mann. Check out the other stuff they have besides the shaving soaps.
But speaking of soaps.
Speaking of which, y'all, the most iconic classic vintage aftershave I think of them all has got to be Old Spice. It's produced nowadays by Procter & Gamble, but originally it was by Schulten, who produced it for my grandfather and hers too.
Right.
So I love this because nostalgically, I remember this very deeply from both of my grandfathers. And they used it in the service and it was very important to them. And it was a tradition that they held on to from their childhood. So I love that it has that tradition in both of our families.
It does. And it's fun because it's full circle. Like we both got into the wet shaving community, but we didn't even realize that that would be like our little connection to them.
Yeah, I remember thinking once, I should get a little bottle of Old Spice. But I love being in the hobby where it's not just encouraged. It's almost a requirement that you have some of these sitting around, right? So that you can re-walk some of those paths that your grandparents walked with these.
And this one specifically, we were watching one of the TRC lives that had Will on it from Barrister and Mann.
With Angelo was interviewing him. And we are kind of on a quest to discover some of these classic aftershaves by different artisans in different forms. I know Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements puts menthol and there's another one that they put oud in and make it their own, right? This one in particular, and this is why I really wanted to try this one, Will went to remarkable extremes, which we will talk about in just a minute, to figure out exactly how to replicate as best he could the original Schulten formula for this soap. So, let's meet it. All right, so this is from the sales page at Barrister and Mann. Who says the old ways aren't the best ways? Spice is a slice of vintage Americana.
Featuring notes of carnation, nutmeg, vanilla, and tonka bean. Spice is great for when you're looking for a bit of history. Your suave, dapper grandfather? He used soaps like this and smelled awesome doing it.
Yo!
Okay!
I am excited. Both of my grandparents wore Old Spice. I think one of yours did.
Yes, I remember seeing it on the shelf. But it is a classic scent. Like, it is one when you smell it, you're like, I don't know if I really understood the whole switch, like the Schulten formula and whatnot. So I'm excited to get our hands on this one.
Yeah.
Because I am curious, at least from all the brethren, they say that this is probably as close as you could get.
Yes.
You know?
And speaking of that, we were listening to that live Sarah mentioned with Angelo and the Razor Company, and Will actually contracted a laboratory with mass spectrometers to figure out on a molecular level what was going on with Old Spice. And they would send him little samples along the way, and he would say, close, getting warmer, getting warmer.
Right.
And then on the fourth or fifth one, he said, they nailed it. So he really educated us on that live about how some of the houses duplicate the famous fragrances. They literally have a computer do it. And it's actually a machine that I used in my chemistry lab in college. We did a lab that I remember using acetates and we'd put them in a mass spectrometer to figure out what they were. And then when you combined them in the right way, the way you knew you got it right, is all of a sudden these two chemicals that smelled like nail polish remover smelled like a perfect Gros Michel banana. Right? Like
That's
perfect.
a fun class.
Right. So it was funny because you'd see people all over the room go, like delighted when all of a sudden this thing that was supposed to stink smelled absolutely gorgeous, right?
Interesting.
And it was done on this chemical level. If it was just a little bit to one side or the other, it wouldn't exactly work. So that's why I'm fascinated
because you've kind of done what Will just did.
I want to find an absolute one-for-one duplication of this amazing formula. What better way to do it than to use cold hard science, right?
And I remember he also said in the live that they had tried to get their hands on the originals from different years and kind of see how their formulation had changed.
And they had been formulated a little bit differently from sample to sample, so he was able to narrow in on the one that he liked best.
Right? That's
and we
so
already
intriguing.
know we love Will's nose. So you know what? Let's unbox this one. And let's have a grown-up conversation, y'all. A little secret.
Yeah.
After we listened to that live with Will talk about it, we actually got the splash too. And
we'd only had the soap
filming
originally.
of this episode until they both got here, right? Because we knew this was going to be probably something.
We're gonna
really
do it.
special.
We're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
So,
And all of the brethren said, if you were looking for that original OG Old Spice, go talk to Will at Barrister and Mann.
And I'm kind of glad we've tried a few before this because this might have made it a little different to smell those other ones. So,
let's see. So, and also Barrister and Mann are one of the artisans that do their distribution on Amazon.
yeah, a few of them are there.
So if you have Prime and you want to save a little on shipping, there you go.
Both of
go
these
grab yourself
came
some
to us,
Barrister and Mann.
Ooh.
There it is.
Oh, it's got a fun anchor
Oh,
on
it's
it.
way more red than I thought it would be. That's gorgeous.
That's
Look
kind
at
of fun
that,
because
y'all.
from this same style, we've opened Muir Woods
Muir
and
Seville
Seville.
have that
now we
style
have a new
label.
one to match,
Oh,
but
I
we have
love it.
not
And
had
then-
one of these.
Y'all, it's our first Barrister and Mann splash, but it's
Wow.
spice. So, of course, we had to get it for this one. There's a bag with it.
A bag and a bag and a bag.
It's a riddle wrapped in an enema.
They are not taking any chances.
Okay, here we go.
Here you go.
Yeah. Oh, she wants to see. This is not cookies.
And now you can't have it.
There. Oh. And let's do perfect transfer, please.
Yes. That is an awesome red. Look at
Oh,
that.
our first splash, too. I'm excited. Let's take a trip back in time to an old family gathering with our grandparents. Let's have a first impression. All right, I'm excited because I was talking to some of the brethren, and I mentioned in our last Barrister and Mann episode that there is something about the formulations that Will figures out that there's a scent note that I'm kind of calling the B&M mystique.
I would agree.
There's something just this beautiful, mysterious scent note that I have found.
Because this is our seventh
lot of those
one,
soaps, right? Yes.
So we've kind of gotten our nose enough to like accustom ourselves.
I love it. It just adds magic, it adds mystery, and it just adds depth.
It's
to
like
these
that
scents,
thumbprint,
right?
you know? It
Right.
just it's his little mark somehow.
Yes.
I don't know if it's in the base. I don't know what it
signature,
is, but
right? Yeah, no other artisan has one the way that Will does.
This is different. I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay, you go first. I'm excited. Let's take off the seal for your protection.
I did not know when we were reading that it had carnation at the beginning.
Yes,
And
carnation
then it
and scent
says it
note.
here too.
I love carnation. as a scent note.
Intriguing.
I
Okay.
really do. Okay, here we go.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready.
Take it in. I'm excited.
So here's the lovely, lovely pour. Wow, that is a flat pour,
Those
y'all.
beautiful, smooth pours of Will. I don't know how he does it. Are you ready? Take it in.
Wow,
You got
it is
the
a
C?
trip. It is a trip in time.
Yeah?
There and that signature scent is there.
Yeah!
But I do get something. I mean, I know I read carnation, but I
Right.
do get something that is a little sweeter
Oh.
or like lighter scent wise,
Right.
and then it goes more into the spice part of it. But it's not as deep of a spice as I was expecting.
Oh,
it does
okay.
have more of that aftershave freshness.
Nice.
After, like you'd put it on aftershave to feel clean and fresh.
Right.
So I don't know why, but spice I always think is darker for some reason.
Yeah,
and
right.
this is a fun, clean, warmer kind of spice going on.
Okay.
I don't know if that's more the Schulten thing. I'm not sure, but at least
Pass this over. Let's see.
I do
Yeah.
have to say though, if I didn't know that
Right.
this was a classic aftershave,
Yeah.
I don't get as much of a time warp as I was expecting.
Oh! Does it have both a vintage and like a modern personality to it?
It's like it's got that timeless vibe. So I know we're going classic OG aftershave,
Right.
but it's still oddly kind of timeless.
Nice.
I don't know.
Okay.
See what you get. I just want to throw that out there.
Like maybe he's modernized Old
I
Spice
don't know.
for you.
Maybe. It just
Okay. Hold on.
that doesn't smell as oldie classic. if that
Let
makes
me
sense.
join the club here and see what
See what
happens.
you
Ready? Oh.
No? Am I there at all?
Whoa. That's wow. Okay, so hold on. This has two faces to it.
Okay, is that what it is?
This has for sure that beautiful B&M, beautiful magic, little bit like musty personality that I love so much.
That's there for sure.
And the other one is like a perfect recreation of Old Spice. And I love that they're both here. I love that
we're both right.
I do sense that B&M personality. So this is not something you'd pick up and be like, oh, that's exactly Old Spice. No. This is exactly Old Spice, but done through the magical filters of Barrister and Mann with that signature on it. So rest assured, you're not getting an exact duplicate carbon copy here. No, there's magic in this.
Sometimes that scent, once you lather it up, isn't as potent though. So I'm curious. It might dissipate a little.
And I'm curious, since this is our first splash, if that B&M Mystique that I call it is in the splash too. Woo! Okay, so talk about the Old Spice part of it.
Okay, so now that I've smelled two other sort of odes to that Shulton formula, I can tell how this can be probably, the more genuine OG kind of vibe of it.
Yeah.
Or I guess I can tell the twist that other people have taken with them. And there is a different... I know it's called spice, but there is a different spice element that's a little more pure.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Right.
I don't know if it's just I can smell all the parts to it.
Right.
And how they combine.
Yeah.
That might be the signature of the Shulton part of it.
Yeah.
Like I know it is. It has that natural like fresh herby kind of vibe. Like that's what they would have had back then. So I can tell that that's here.
Yeah.
And I can sort of tell the vibe of my grandpa there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't smell as old.
Doesn't smell vintage.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Gotcha. I would agree. I'm glad you said that. I don't know how, but I'm going to put a flag in this. And it's funny because we were kind of told this is as OG as you get.
Right.
I don't know.
I've never put my nose on that OG bottle. So I gotta say, I cannot be sure.
I have. Okay. I remember smelling that OG bottle all the time growing up because it was the only thing of interest in my grandfather's medicine cabinet, right? So I would grab it and smell it all the time. So yes, I think this is a fantastic recreation of the original that has then had some stuff done with it that's made it a little bit more modern. When I smell this, I don't get images of the 40s. I don't get black and white. I get, this is a modern singer singing a vintage song.
Okay.
So yes, I would absolutely agree with you.
Perfect for our classic aftershave month.
Oh,
because obviously
absolutely.
That's exactly what we're kind of hoping for.
And you know what? I would have been a little bit disappointed if this were just a perfect recreation of Old Spice. Because I think the filters that these artisans put them scents through are fantastic. And that is what you're paying for, folks. You are paying not for Old Spice, but you're paying for Will's reimagined version of it.
Right.
Based on something absolutely faithful. So I guess to paint a picture for you, I was really, of course, happy and expected that the B&M magic would work amazingly well with Old Spice. Yes, but I wasn't expecting Old Spice to work so fantastically well with the B&M magic. I think coming at it the other way was like, wait a minute. We've got a perfect body over here. What fashion designer do we want to dress it? I think it kind of goes both ways.
And because now we have a little friend over there.
And I wonder, and I've wondered from the beginning, if that B&M Mystique is also in the splash or if it's something that you catch only in the soap base.
And this is our first B&M splash.
So, y'all, I think there is one way to settle this argument. Yeah, and this is also sealed for your protection.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm just curious. And then we can see, like, how they dance together.
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Do they complement each other? Are they exact together? Are they recreations?
Okay, so I'm curious what you would say. Is the B&M Mystique in the splash too? What do you think?
Okay. I already knew without even looking at your words. Yeah, no, I think it's a signature part of their base.
I do too. I don't smell it in the splash. I don't.
That smells more like what I think my grandpa vibe. Whoa, that comes out fast. Be ready.
This comes out fast.
You're putting it on for reals.
This is going hard. Oh.
And you did shave this morning.
Wow.
You feel the like.
Oh, I'm getting a beautiful burn. I just shaved right before we filmed this. Oh. Wow.
Okay, I'm actually glad we did this before going back to scent notes.
Yes.
This is fun to get first.
Right. Oh, it's all swirling around, and then as it dries, it becomes my grandfather.
Right. My nose was like, hold on. I know that.
This is magic. Because smell it while it's still a little bit wet, how it's not the same. Yeah. But then as it's drying, it's just like going, hi.
There's almost like a powdery clean happening too.
Wow. This
Like,
splash.
that's much lighter of a
This
scent.
splash, y'all. Oh, it's gorgeous. And it's not too, like, dark. It's not too,
No.
like... And it's absolutely not vintage.
Right?
She is right. This does not take me back any further than 2012, y'all.
It's funny, like, smelling that now, go back to this, and it does have a big difference.
It really does.
So
Wow.
I think if we lather that, some of it might disappear. If that's what they're going for.
Absolutely. Yeah, this has a full-bodied quality to this soap that is just amazing.
While we're lathering,
Yeah.
should we take an adventure to the scent notes?
Well, I don't see why not. Let's take a look. All right, y'all. So this is our Barrister and Mann bowl and our Yaki 24 millimeter brush that Sarah
My
got at the
first
beginning of
brush.
things. Yeah, all right.
This might be a little bit of thirsty soap. We might
Yeah,
want a
y'all.
little more.
If your bowl makes kind of a cobweb pattern
Or
at the
your
bottom
brush
at first,
escapes.
she's wanting some water. She needs it.
You're a little thirsty.
No, this is more spicy. This is a little bit more grounding. I've got
Versus-
the B&M Mystique in this.
Okay.
This is lovely. This is grounded in Will's personality. So this
Yeah.
is Old Spice for sure. And then Will has signed it with his signature.
A little
and you
of
can
that
smell
Barrister
it.
and Mann
You can smell
thing,
it.
yeah.
And it, again, it's magic because something about Will's Mystique fits so well with
It
Old
does.
Spice and
You'd have
vice
no idea.
versa. Okay, so we're going to start with Carnation. Yes, I love that.
And it's funny, I never would have guessed, but because I read it, I totally.
Yeah.
And it's almost more the dried carnation.
Oh,
Do you think?
Maybe.
Versus-
Well, see, my dad, again, was a funeral director, and carnations
touche.
were ubiquitous. That was like, especially in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
If you were
Oh.
dead, you were surrounded by carnations. for
Yeah,
some
that's
reason.
in the picture.
All different colors. So, yeah, that has a super comforting scent to me, and a nostalgic one for my childhood. And then nutmeg.
Yeah, and that's almost making it a little bit sweeter.
Right,
It's a little
yeah.
calming, you know?
Right. But gives it that spicy edge without having to go like tobacco or patchouli
Exactly.
kind of thing, right? And then the two best friends, vanilla and tonka
That's
bean.
definitely more of the sweeter. So the nutmeg
Gorgeous.
eases right into those.
But again, I'm getting them all
Yeah.
separately. I smell the carnation. I smell the nutmeg. And it's the first time I've been able to do that with an Old Spice scent.
Yes,
It's
I would agree.
so beautiful and prominent.
And
Oh,
I think
love this.
those two actually stand out more than other odes that we've tried before.
Right.
These are very prominent in this variation.
Right. Wow. And you know what? I love that Old Spice is a friendly soap. My grandpa kind of had a reputation of being too nice. Like, it was kind of funny, but like, even if a salesman came by the house to sell something, he would generally invite the guy in, sit him down in the recliner, and they'd be like having a giant
Best friends.
conversation. Right. He was kind of like that guy, right? He would just
Yeah.
talk your ear off.
I could get that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love that he wore this because
Right.
it does speak to just how friendly and calming and comforting he was as a person. And there was one New Year's Eve party where he scared us to death. He went in the bathroom and he came out and he was having a heart attack.
Oh, Lord.
Now, their New Year's parties were legendary. So, I mean, there's 40, 50 people in the house. Pretty heavily lit, if there's
Let's
a better way to say
translate.
that, right? I think my grandfather had just put away his saxophone. He got it out once a year and played the saxophone when he'd been drinking, right? Anyway,
time until-
had a heart attack. And ambulance gets called. Party's over. Everybody goes
No
home.
way.
Very
Wow.
worried about him. He goes to Dameron
Grandpa.
Hospital. He is rushed over, right? Well, they check him out. It's now 12:30 New Year's Eve in Stockton, California. So, not the calmest place in
Right.
the world. And he's fine. They're a little confused. They run the blood. They were 2 tests. He's absolutely fine.
Is this
Doctor
a prank?
walks in.
What is going on?
Sir, you appear to be completely fine. Can I ask you, did you experience a large amount of pain in your chest? Well, not really. Okay, well then why did you think you were why are you here? And he said, well, look, my fingers started turning blue, and that's what happened to my dad when he had a heart attack. My fingers are blue. And the doctor said, did you get that new blue shirt for Christmas?
Oh, dear.
And he went, yeah. Well, he had washed his hands in the bathroom and dried them on his new blue shirt for Christmas and looked at his hands. And I think the few beers he had kind of helped with this decision and
that
decided
panic
that he was
real.
having a heart attack, right? So
Grandpa!
my grandpa was that silly, but I think that's what made him that beloved.
I get
was...
that, though. I really wish I could have met him because all the stories like this are a good time.
So that is just those kind of fun stories always come flooding back whenever I smell his colognes, right? Because it just reminds me. He was in the bathroom probably putting that on.
Right, and he had no idea. But it's interesting because I know it was originally called Old Spice. And the fact that this is just called Spice, it does take that kind of vintage edge.
That's your hypothesis, was that this is more of a modernized version of Old Spice.
It's an ode for sure, and I can tell it's as close as you can get. But there's something in it that still makes it that timeless.
I think it's either his base that modernizes it in the soap, or
this powdery
more likely the quality of ingredients that Will is going to use in this soap and this splash is going to far outweigh the mass produced by the thousands of gallons stuff that we're generally used to. Yeah. So it's almost like a master chef made a cheeseburger. Right. Y'all saw the menu? It's that, right? So this is that cheeseburger, but it's just done so well with such beautiful ingredients that you can't help think it's been modernized.
No, I totally get that.
And there are still a couple of little mysterious set notes on this where we might have to go a little bit deeper.
It's funny when you're younger because you don't know that you associate scents with certain people or certain places. And your memory then is, it's just soaking everything in like a little sponge.
Right.
So until I smell something, as close to the original, I know on your body it changes a little bit, but I really do get that vibe of my grandpa from here. Yeah. And it wasn't one that he only wore. I think just when I was younger, he wore it. So I do have fond memories of just hanging out in the shed with grandpa and helping build cars and do fun things. And he built us a treehouse, climbed the treehouse, just certain stuff like that. Like I didn't realize that smell was associated with him.
He still comes to me in dreams sometimes. Maybe this will make it happen more often.
So that magic that he throws in there may have a different, deeper magic. Who knows?
I love that he kept his signature.
Yes,
for this.
And it really fits this well, I have to say.
Like, if you know Barrister and Mann at all, and you smelled this, didn't know it was theirs, your first thought would be, wait a minute, is that Will?
Wait, read down the side.
Oh, what do you
These
got?
are different things.
Oh! Wait. Hey! Okay, y'all, we have some scent notes on the side of the container that are not on the website. Okay,
at least not what we were reading. Woo, okay. Nutmeg we knew.
Yep.
Aldehydes.
Aldehydes. That's the part of the mystic part.
I think so, yeah. And then carnation we got. Citrus.
Love it.
Okay. All right. Tonka bean we had. And then ambergris.
Ambergris. Of course, it's Old Spice. It's the C. Right?
And then heliotrope. So those are the other spices that it says spices. Now we have the spices.
Hold on a second. Heliotrope.
Does that explain the spice now?
Yep.
Like that in between that we were like, but they're not listed. Hold on.
Yep. And with a couple of the other B&Ms, I love that the Mystique plays beautifully with the scent, but they play sort of as independent personalities. But in this, I love that I can find them individually.
They're blended
but boy, is this a mind meld of those two things.
Honestly, if I hadn't known that the other part was more connected to the base, I'd have no idea. It's just that little thumbprint. But here, it seems like it's part of the scent. Like it's supposed to really, really be there.
Right. So it's pretty easy. All you have to do is be a master perfumer and start a shaving soap company. When you decide you're going to bring some unobtainium back to the masses, you're going to not only use the nose of an artist, but you're going to use the machinery of a chemist. And once you're able to put together your magic with their numbers, guess what? You just got your own. So head over to barristerandmann.com to find this and a bunch of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave with spice, and not only do I love that B&M Mystique scent more every time I use it, but the more I realize how the scents that Will chooses lock in so beautifully with that Mystique and bring out beautiful qualities of each other in that balance. So an improvement on Old Spice? Maybe. And the lather, the shave itself is just beautiful. This combination of sticky and thickness that I know it's going to be where I put it, and it's going to be at a consistency where my razor's going to know what to do with it. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Will, we have waves in the cart right now because we need a sequel to this bad boy.
Welcome to Messages.
Hey y'all, so we bring you glad tidings of great joy. There are several artisans of whom we are absolute fanatics who do their distribution through Amazon.com. Heather with Zingari Man, Barrister and Mann, Chiseled Face to name but a few. So if you're looking for a good new artisan shaving soap to try and you're just not in the mood to shell out for shipping, head over there and see what they've got going. I love there's all kinds of magic in this. I love this does not smell anything like this smells while it's wet. I love that when you open the bottle and you're like this.
Different.
Nope, that's not Old Spice at all. But once it dries, this is one of the most perfect Old Spices I've
I'm
ever
actually
smelled.
really curious because this is our first from them too to see how long it lasts.
Yes.
Like
and
how long that stays with you.
I do get those genuine, beautiful whiffs that I used to get from my grandfather's formula. So I don't know if it's just the power of suggestion that's saying this is the Shelton thing your grandfather had. But my nose is affirming that. This smells more real.
Right. And it was an aftershave back in the day. So having this version of the aftershave is like a whole new thing. Whereas sometimes some of the homages are more of like an EDP or something. So having it changed to have this, I'm just curious like how that lasts for you.
I'm so happy to have this in the cabinet. And I feel like this and Seville are going to be like somehow best friends in there. Right?
These last few months digging into the barbershops and the aftershave classics here. Like it's fun to really be at this part of our journey.
Right.
To appreciate what these are. I feel like if these were our first few cents at the beginning, we wouldn't have known all the little delicacies that are in here.
Yeah.
We would just been like, oh, it's a cool spice. We wouldn't have understood the layers and things that are happening here.
Right. And I'm really grateful for Will and his mom for being one of the artisans to take on classic aftershaves. It can't be easy.
No.
Like just listening to that live, listening to half an hour of him talk about how he constructed this.
Everyone has a memory. They know they'll know when they get their nose on it. Like it's not like you're just recreating something. Like there are other people that know if it's going to be right or not.
Right.
Like, that's their grandma scent.
And y'all, let's have a grown-up conversation. As the years go on, it's a little bit harder to remember what he sounded like. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to remember exactly what he looked like. But Will, this is what he smelled like.
Nailed it.
Thanks, bud.
It just connects it. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.